In a world where the challenges of everyday life often feel insurmountable, one father's desperate struggle to provide a future for his injured son takes an unexpected turn, thanks to an act of kindness from a global icon. When Cristiano Ronaldo learns of young Luca's injury and his family's inability to afford life-changing prosthetics, he steps in to offer a solution that will not only restore Luca's mobility, but also reshape their future. This is a story about hope, compassion, and the power of one person's generosity to transform a family's life forever. The story begins by introducing Miguel, a father who is grappling with the heavy emotional and financial burdens of his child's injury. The setting is a modest home in a small town, where Miguel and his young son, Luca, live. This home, though simple, is filled with warmth, but also the stark reminder of the challenges they face. The opening scene shows Luca playing on the floor, a joyful and resilient child despite the recent tragedy that has altered his life. His laughter echoes in the room, providing a sharp contrast to the underlying difficulties. Miguel, observing his son, is caught in a bittersweet moment. While Luca tries to move around and enjoy his day, he is hindered by the effects of a recent accident that has left him in need of a prosthetic leg. The injury has dramatically changed the course of their lives, and the camera lingers on Miguel's face, showing a mixture of love, worry, and helplessness. As a father, Miguel's main priority is the well-being and future of his child, but the emotional weight of his situation is intensified by his inability to provide Luca with the help he needs. The opening paragraph paints a picture of a family facing a crisis, yet it also shows Luca's courage and determination, hinting at his strong spirit despite his physical limitations. This initial scene sets the emotional tone for the story, one of hardship, but also the possibility of hope and support. The viewer is made to empathize with Miguel, understanding his desperation and the deep desire he has to do everything in his power to give his son a normal life again. This moment, although tragic, is also pivotal because it sets in motion the chain of events that will eventually lead to a life-changing intervention. Miguel's struggle is central to the narrative, illustrating the difficult reality faced by families who must contend with the high costs of medical care. In this scene, the camera zooms in on Miguel as he stands beside his son, Luca, who is attempting to navigate his way across the room. Despite his bright smile and optimistic demeanor, Luca's movements are clearly hindered. Without the proper prosthetic, he is forced to rely on crutches or other makeshift aids that provide insufficient support, making his daily tasks more challenging and frustrating. The camera captures Luca's efforts to remain active, yet his condition remains a constant reminder of the accident that changed his life. Miguel watches his son with a mixture of admiration and sorrow. As a father, he is proud of Luca's resilience and determination to keep going, but his face also reflects the crushing reality that he is unable to provide his son with the quality of life he deserves. The emotional weight of this moment is heavy for Miguel, as he recognizes that his son's injury is not just a physical ailment, but a barrier that prevents Luca from fully participating in life. The financial strain that Miguel faces is an essential element of the story. His modest income barely covers the family's basic needs, let alone the expenses for advanced medical treatments or the specialized prosthetics Luca requires. The prosthetics themselves are not just a medical necessity, but also a financial burden, one that Miguel simply cannot afford on his own. The narrative underscores the harsh reality that many families in similar situations must confront. While healthcare is essential, it can often come with a price tag that is far beyond their means. As Miguel struggles to make ends meet, there's a clear sense of frustration and helplessness that permeates the scene. Miguel's internal conflict grows as he faces an overwhelming dilemma. How can he ensure that his son receives the best care and medical attention when his resources are limited? This struggle is not just about money. It's about a father's desire to do whatever it takes to give his child a chance at a normal life. The emotional toll is clear, and it makes the audience sympathize deeply with Miguel, understanding that his journey is not only about financial hardship, but also the emotional and psychological burden of watching his child suffer. This point in the story sets the stage for the intervention that will come later, making it clear that Miguel's love for his son is the driving force behind his determination to find a way to help him. The depiction of this struggle highlights the broader issue of access to healthcare and the inequalities faced by families who lack the financial resources to afford critical treatments. Through Miguel's character, the story emphasizes the powerful bond between parent and child and the lengths a parent will go to in order to improve their child's quality of life, even when faced with insurmountable odds. The story takes a pivotal turn when Miguel's situation, and the plight of his son Luca, reaches a wider audience through the media. This point highlights the growing awareness of their struggle and the profound impact it has on others, both locally and beyond. The scene begins with a local news outlet running a heartfelt interview with Miguel. In this interview, Miguel explains the challenges of caring for Luca, who requires a prosthetic leg to regain mobility and a semblance of normalcy. The father speaks with raw emotion, revealing his frustration at not being able to provide for his son despite his best efforts. His voice cracks as he shares the details of their financial difficulties and the immense stress of watching Luca struggle without the proper medical equipment. The camera focuses on Miguel's face as he speaks, capturing his vulnerability and the deep love he has for Luca. The story is shared with the audience through the lens of a father who is trying to hold it together, but whose desperation is clear. Luca, meanwhile, is seen playing in the background, still smiling and trying to stay positive despite the circumstances. The news segment shows Miguel's dedication as a father, but also highlights the dire financial and emotional strain he's under. As the segment airs, it quickly gains traction on social media. People from around the world begin to share the story, commenting on Miguel's strength and Luca's indomitable spirit. The story spreads far beyond the local community, resonating with viewers who are touched by the father's plight. This viral reaction is powerful. It underscores the collective empathy people feel when they see an innocent child facing hardship and a parent doing everything in their power to help. The media's role in amplifying their story is crucial, as it brings attention to the challenges families face in accessing essential healthcare, particularly in regions where financial resources are limited. Among the many people who are moved by Miguel and Luca's story is Cristiano Ronaldo, who is shown watching the news segment from his home. Ronaldo, known not only for his football prowess but also for his philanthropic efforts, is visibly affected by the father's emotional appeal. The scene conveys a moment of reflection for the soccer star. He pauses, listening to the details of Miguel's struggles. Ronaldo's reaction is one of empathy and concern. He sees beyond the headlines and statistics and connects with the humanity of the situation. This point serves as a catalyst in the narrative. It illustrates the power of the media in highlighting social issues and sparking a collective sense of responsibility among viewers. Ronaldo's attention is drawn not just because of the tragic circumstances, but because he sees an opportunity to help. The media, by bringing attention to Miguel's struggles, creates the platform for the intervention that will follow. This moment marks a turning point in the story, where the exposure of their situation begins to attract help from outside their immediate circle, an act that will change their lives. The growing media attention also serves to underscore the interconnectedness of the world in the digital age, where news can spread rapidly and compassionate individuals are often moved to take action. It sets up the idea that even in moments of extreme hardship, there are people out there who care and are willing to step in when they can make a difference. The stage is now set for Ronaldo to play a key role in Miguel and Luca's journey, marking the beginning of the turning point in their lives. In this pivotal moment of the story, Cristiano Ronaldo's reaction to Miguel and Luca's situation showcases the power of empathy and generosity. As the news of their plight spreads, Ronaldo, who has a long history of charitable work, is deeply moved by the father's struggle and the emotional weight of the story. The scene begins with Ronaldo sitting in his living room, watching the television. The news segment that aired about Miguel and Luca comes on, and the camera lingers on Ronaldo's face as he listens intently. His expression shifts from one of concern to a firm resolve, indicating that he is not just passively observing the situation but contemplating how he can help. Ronaldo is portrayed as a man who has not only achieved success in his career, but has also cultivated a deep sense of social responsibility. Despite his fame and fortune, he remains grounded, and this scene highlights his genuine desire to make a difference in the lives of others. He watches the interview with Miguel and sees the raw emotion and love a father has for his son. The connection to Luca's need for prosthetics strikes a chord with Ronaldo, who understands how critical it is for a child to have the tools to live life without limitations. For Ronaldo, this isn't just about charity. It's about ensuring that a young boy can have a future full of opportunities, regardless of the financial constraints that Miguel faces. The moment is a quiet one, yet it speaks volumes about Ronaldo's character. Instead of simply sending a token message of support, he takes immediate action. He picks up his phone and dials Miguel directly, a gesture that shows his commitment to doing more than just offering kind words. When Miguel answers the call, Ronaldo wastes no time in letting him know that he wants to help. The sincerity in Ronaldo's voice is clear as he speaks to Miguel, assuring him that he will cover the full cost of Luca's prosthetics, no matter the amount. His tone is calm but firm, and the compassion in his words is evident. Ronaldo doesn't just offer financial assistance, he offers hope, and in doing so, he becomes a lifeline for the struggling father. This gesture from Ronaldo is not just about the money. It represents the kind of human connection that transcends distance and fame. The scene emphasizes that acts of kindness, especially those carried out by public figures, have the power to change lives. It's a stark reminder that, beyond their celebrity status, figures like Ronaldo possess the ability to make tangible, meaningful changes in the lives of those in need. The decision to personally reach out and take responsibility for Luca's care speaks to Ronaldo's genuine character. He sees the situation not as a public relations opportunity, but as an urgent need that requires action. Ronaldo's intervention serves as a turning point in the story. His offer of help not only provides a solution to the financial barrier Miguel faces, but it also offers a message of solidarity and care. The call with Miguel is simple but impactful, and it demonstrates that kindness knows no boundaries. For Miguel, it is an overwhelming moment. To hear that someone of Ronaldo's stature is offering to shoulder the cost of Luca's prosthetics is beyond what he could have ever imagined. It's a moment of relief, hope, and renewal. The scene closes with a look of gratitude on Miguel's face, a reflection of the immense weight being lifted off his shoulders. Ronaldo's response is more than just a gesture of charity. It's a promise that, in times of hardship, there are those willing to step up and make a difference. The moment when Cristiano Ronaldo personally reaches out to Miguel marks a profound shift in the narrative. It is not simply an offer of financial assistance, but a significant gesture of compassion, humanity, and responsibility. After watching the news segment about Miguel and Luca's dire situation, Ronaldo is moved to take immediate action. This moment, when he directly contacts Miguel via video call, demonstrates not just his generosity, but his genuine empathy toward their struggle. The scene opens with Ronaldo picking up his phone to make the call, showing a level of urgency in his actions. He's not simply going to send a donation through a third party or make a vague promise. He wants to connect directly with Miguel to offer a solution. The camera focuses on Ronaldo's face, which is calm but resolute, as he dials the number. There's a sense of purpose in his actions, and his demeanor conveys that he understands the gravity of the situation. He's about to do more than offer words of comfort. He's about to change the lives of Miguel and Luca. When Miguel answers the call, his face reflects a mix of confusion and curiosity. He is unsure of who is reaching out, let alone someone as famous as Cristiano Ronaldo. As the video call continues, Ronaldo's warm and sincere demeanor quickly dispels any doubts or disbelief that Miguel might have. Ronaldo speaks to Miguel with a gentle yet firm tone, immediately explaining that he has seen the news about Luca's injury and the family's struggles. This establishes the emotional connection between the two, creating a moment of genuine understanding. Ronaldo doesn't waste time with pleasantries. Instead, he moves straight to the point, letting Miguel know that he wants to help. His offer is clear. He will cover all the expenses for Luca's prosthetics, no matter the cost. There's no hesitation in Ronaldo's words, no ambiguity. The assurance that the financial burden will be lifted allows Miguel to exhale for the first time in a long while. Ronaldo's words are a promise, and the certainty with which he speaks conveys the depth of his commitment. He's not offering just a small gesture, but a life-changing solution for Miguel and Luca. For Miguel, Hearing this offer is nothing short of overwhelming. The camera captures his shock, his eyes widening as he tries to process what Ronaldo is saying. At this moment, the weight of his struggles, his helplessness, his financial anxiety begins to lift, replaced by an overwhelming sense of relief. He knows that this intervention will allow Luka to get the prosthetics he needs to regain a sense of normalcy and mobility. But more than that, it represents hope. Miguel has fought tirelessly to make sure his son has a chance at a fulfilling life, and now, that chance is within reach. As Ronaldo continues speaking, there's a sense of connection that transcends the distance between them. It's not about Ronaldo being a global icon and Miguel being an ordinary father. It's about two people from very different walks of life coming together to address a shared concern: the well-being of a child. Ronaldo's tone is personal and direct, and there is no air of superiority in his words. This is a man offering help not out of obligation, but out of a sincere desire to make a difference. He speaks as a fellow human being, not as a celebrity, and that authenticity is what makes his offer so powerful. Ronaldo's intervention, in this moment, is transformative. It's not just about providing the money to pay for Luka's prosthetics. It's about giving Miguel and his family something they hadn't dared to hope for: a future where Luka can live without the constant reminder of his injury, a future where he can run, play, and grow without limitation. The offer represents a lifeline, a tangible expression of kindness that changes everything. It gives Miguel the emotional support and practical assistance he needs, showing him that even in the darkest of times, there are people out there who care and who are willing to act. This moment also reveals the depth of Ronaldo's character. His wealth and status could have easily led him to simply donate anonymously or make a distant gesture of support. Instead, he chooses to personally reach out to Miguel, ensuring that his help is meaningful and directly addresses the family's needs. Ronaldo's decision to act in this personal way reinforces the message that kindness and generosity should be rooted in connection and understanding, not just in financial resources. His offer sets the stage for the changes that are about to unfold in Miguel and Luka's lives. When Miguel receives Cristiano Ronaldo's call, his reaction is a mixture of disbelief, overwhelming gratitude, and emotional release. This moment represents a profound emotional turning point for Miguel, who has been carrying the weight of his son's injury and the family's financial struggles for months. The call from Ronaldo is a complete surprise, and it immediately lifts a burden that Miguel has felt for so long. The scene begins with Miguel, initially stunned by the identity of the person on the other end of the phone. The camera focuses on his face as he processes the information, his expression shifting from confusion to sheer astonishment. The idea that someone as well-known and influential as Ronaldo would reach out personally is a moment of surrealism for Miguel. He has just been living his life as a father trying to provide for his son, never imagining that someone of Ronaldo's stature would take an active interest in their situation. The sense of disbelief on Miguel's face is palpable as he struggles to absorb what is happening. As Ronaldo speaks, offering to cover the cost of Luka's prosthetics, Miguel's initial shock turns into overwhelming gratitude. The relief in his voice is evident as he tries to respond, but he can hardly find the words. The depth of the gesture is clear to him. This is not just a kind donation, but a game-changing act of generosity that will have an immediate and lasting impact on his son's life. His voice cracks as he stumbles over his words, clearly struggling to express the emotional weight of the moment. It is as if the years of worry, sleepless nights, and anxiety are finally being lifted from his shoulders. Ronaldo's promise to take care of the financial burden allows Miguel to imagine a future where Luka has the opportunity to walk, run, and play again, something that seemed impossible before. Miguel's gratitude isn't just for the financial relief. It is also for the hope that Ronaldo's gesture represents. For months, Miguel had been desperately searching for a way to get Luka the prosthetics he needed, but had been unable to secure the necessary funds. Every time he saw Luka struggle to walk or participate in activities that other children could do with ease, the emotional toll weighed heavier. This call changes everything. It's not just the prosthetics that are now within reach, but a sense of hope that had been slipping away. Miguel's heart is full, And the tears that well up in his eyes are not just tears of relief, but of gratitude for the kindness shown to his family. This reaction also underscores the deep emotional connection between a parent and child. The pain that Miguel has been carrying isn't just financial. It is the heartache of seeing his child face obstacles that he cannot fix. When Ronaldo steps in, it's as if a light is shining into their lives, offering a way out of the darkness. In this moment, Miguel is not just grateful for the physical aid, but for the emotional support and validation that comes with it. Ronaldo's action confirms that they are not alone in their struggle, that there are people out there who care, who see their pain, and who are willing to help. The scene also highlights Miguel's humility and his recognition of the magnitude of the gesture. While many would find it easy to become overwhelmed by the fame and fortune of someone like Ronaldo, Miguel is grounded and focused on the impact this help will have on Luca. He isn't focused on the celebrity of the moment, but on the real, tangible difference this will make in his son's life. His deep respect for Ronaldo's gesture is not just about the money. It's about the humanity that Ronaldo is offering. Miguel's reaction is the emotional heart of the story. It represents the relief that comes with knowing your child's future is secure, that their dreams of living without limitations can become a reality. It is a moment of healing, both physically and emotionally. For Miguel, this call from Ronaldo symbolizes a turning point, not just in the financial sense, but in the restoration of his faith in the kindness of others. It reassures him that, even in the most difficult times, help can come from unexpected places, and sometimes the people who step forward are those who understand the struggle the best. The impact of Cristiano Ronaldo's intervention extends far beyond Miguel and his own emotional relief. It profoundly transforms the life of Luca, the young boy who has been struggling with his injury and the lack of a proper prosthetic. While Luca's story has been at the heart of the narrative, this point focuses on the moment when his life changes as a direct result of the help his father receives from Ronaldo. With the promise of a prosthetic leg now within reach, Luca's world begins to shift in tangible and emotional ways, giving him a new sense of hope and possibility. The scene begins with Luca, still living with the challenges of his current mobility aids. The crutches or makeshift supports that Luca has been using are clearly insufficient, limiting his freedom and affecting his ability to play, run, or engage in the same activities as other children his age. He is shown trying to navigate through a familiar space, perhaps a playground or his home, where he clearly longs to join in, but his physical limitations prevent him from doing so. The camera captures Luca's determination to push through the limitations, but also the sadness in his eyes when he realizes that he cannot keep up with his peers. This subtle moment of frustration reveals the depth of the impact his injury has had on his emotional and social life. It's not just the physical pain, but the sense of exclusion and isolation that comes from not being able to live a normal childhood. However, as the new prosthetics become available, everything begins to change. When Luca is fitted with the prosthetic leg provided by Ronaldo's generosity, the camera captures a moment of transformation. The prosthetic, which once seemed out of reach, is now a symbol of possibility, a tool that can help restore Luca's independence and confidence. The fitting process is shown in detail, with Luca's excitement growing as he tries on the new prosthetic. The sense of wonder in his eyes as he takes his first steps with it is profound. For the first time in a long while, he feels like he has control over his body again. The transformation is not just physical, it is emotional as well. Luca's face lights up with joy as he begins to move around with more ease. The prosthetic leg allows him to walk more naturally and confidently, and soon he is seen running and playing in a way that was previously impossible. His interactions with his peers change as well. No longer hindered by his injury, Luca can now join in on the activities he had previously been excluded from, whether it's playing soccer with his friends or running around with the other children in his neighborhood. These moments are powerful because they show the tangible difference that a prosthetic leg can make in the life of a child who has been longing for a sense of normalcy. Beyond the physical aspects, Luca's emotional and psychological well-being begins to improve. As a child, the loss of mobility and independence can have lasting effects on self-esteem, but with his new prosthetic, Luca gains a renewed sense of self-worth. The joy that fills his face, as he explores his newfound freedom speaks volumes about the psychological weight that has been lifted. His confidence is visibly restored, and the once limited world in which he operated now expands. He can participate fully in his community, make new friends, and continue growing without the burden of his injury constantly holding him back. The impact of Ronaldo's intervention also extends to Luka's relationship with his father, Miguel. As Luka thrives with his new prosthetic, Miguel watches with pride and amazement. There's a moment where father and son share a quiet, proud glance, acknowledging the immense journey they've been through together. Miguel knows that this moment is more than just a victory for Luka, it's a victory for their family. The help they received has not only improved Luka's life, but also brought them closer as a family, rekindling their sense of hope and possibility. In this point, the story highlights not only the physical recovery of Luka, but also the emotional healing that comes with the restoration of independence and freedom. The prosthetic symbolizes more than just a medical device. It becomes a symbol of overcoming adversity, of a child who, with the right support, is able to take control of his own future. Ronaldo's intervention, therefore, does more than change Luka's immediate circumstances. It offers him the tools to reclaim his childhood, to dream again, and to believe in his own strength. The impact is immeasurable, and it ripples out to affect not only Luka's life, but the lives of those around him. The lasting impact of Cristiano Ronaldo's intervention on Miguel, Luka, and their family. While the immediate relief of Luka receiving his prosthetics and regaining his mobility is profound, the long-term effects of Ronaldo's generosity extend far beyond just a single moment of help. This point emphasizes how acts of kindness can create ripples that affect a family's future, from emotional healing to the shaping of new opportunities that were previously out of reach. In the months following Luka's new prosthetic fitting, the changes are clear. Luka continues to thrive, not only physically but emotionally. With his newfound freedom, he becomes more active in his community. He starts participating in school activities, sports, and outdoor play with other children, a stark contrast to the limited life he once led. His self-confidence grows, and he begins to develop a stronger sense of identity and independence. The narrative highlights a montage of Luka taking part in activities that were once off-limits, running races with his friends, playing soccer with other kids in the neighborhood, and even joining a local youth sports team. These moments are infused with joy and energy, capturing the vibrant, full life that Luka is now able to lead. The transformation is not only physical, but also psychological. Luka, once feeling isolated and limited by his injury, now feels empowered. The camera captures his beaming face as he walks with ease for the first time in years, his pride in his newfound abilities evident in every step. These visual moments underscore the deep emotional growth that Luka experiences as a result of the prosthetic leg. The sense of accomplishment he feels when achieving something he thought he couldn't do before, whether it's climbing a playground structure or simply walking to school, is a powerful testament to how mobility impacts one's mental well-being. On a broader level, the story also delves into the long-term effect on Miguel, the father. Initially, he was burdened by the weight of Luka's injury and the financial struggles that came with it, but the help he received from Ronaldo allowed him to focus on what truly mattered: his son's well-being. The stress and emotional toll of constantly worrying about how to afford medical bills and prosthetic care were overwhelming. However, with the weight of financial pressure lifted, Miguel is able to focus more on his role as a father and his relationship with Luka. The long-term emotional relief that Miguel experiences is immense. No longer does he feel trapped by the burden of debt and the looming sense of failure as a parent who couldn't provide for his child. Instead, Miguel is able to enjoy his role in Luka's life without the constant worry that had overshadowed their every interaction. This newfound peace allows Miguel to be more present, more engaged, and more positive about the future. Their bond as father and son strengthens as they share these joyful moments together, playing, laughing, and growing in confidence. Moreover, Ronaldo's generosity not only changes Luka's life, but also serves as an ongoing source of inspiration for Miguel. The gesture reaffirms Miguel's belief in human kindness, giving him a renewed sense of hope in the goodness of others. Over time, Miguel becomes more involved in the community, seeking ways to pay forward the kindness his family received. He shares their story with others, helping to raise awareness about the challenges families with disabled children face, and encouraging others to give back in whatever way they can. This ripple effect spreads beyond their family, with Miguel's personal growth and his willingness to help others making a broader impact. The financial support provided by Ronaldo also opens up opportunities for Luca's future that would have previously been inaccessible. With the medical costs of Luca's prosthetic care covered, Miguel and his family can now focus on other aspects of Luca's development. The story hints at future educational opportunities for Luca, who is now able to pursue interests and hobbies that might have been too difficult before. With his mobility restored, Luca has a better chance at excelling academically and socially, as he can now interact with peers and engage in physical activities that support both his education and personal growth. Additionally, the impact of Ronaldo's intervention is not just felt by Miguel and Luca, but extends to the broader community. Their story serves as a powerful example of how the support of individuals and the broader public can transform lives. The media coverage and subsequent generosity inspire others to think about how they can help families in need, creating a cycle of giving and support that has a ripple effect. Local organizations and charities, inspired by Ronaldo's actions, may also step up to support other families in similar situations, knowing that the impact of one gesture can inspire a wave of change. In the final scenes, the family is shown together, stronger and more united than ever before. Miguel's face reflects a deep sense of gratitude, not only for the physical aid they received, but for the lasting impact it has had on their lives. As the family gathers around Luca, now happily participating in activities with other children, the long-term effects of Ronaldo's generosity are clear. The prosthetic has provided Luca with the tools to live a normal life, but the support has also given the family a sense of stability, hope, and a renewed belief in the kindness of others. The story closes on a note of optimism for the future, showing that acts of kindness, no matter how small they seem at the time, can have lasting effects that shape lives for years to come.